wasn't looking for a place in the area. I was actually going down to see an African music concert at BAM with my boyfriend at the time. And we ended up getting off the C train, took a wrong turn, and walked across Lafayette down Oxford and over to the park.
And that was it, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like a Woody Allen movie, except it wasn't Manhattan, it was Brooklyn. But I had never seen this side of Brooklyn before. I'd been to Williamsburg to some bars, but Fort Greene was just so beautiful.
How long ago was that?
7 years ago. I was living here within 6 months.
When I left my husband, I knew this is where I wanted to be. He never wanted to leave Manhattan. He said Brooklyn was for bums, thugs, and bohemes.
Bohemians?
That was his uptown way of describing the black folks that lived here. He called the women head wrappers and the guys art treads.
How did he describe himself?
He described himself as a baller. I describe him as a man who was always wrong when he thought he was right.
That's funny. Head wrappers, I've heard that term before. Over on Fulton Street, there are still a lot of those braiding shops, and that store, Mouchad, is there. They've got the living models in the window. It's cute, I guess.
You been in?
I've stood outside and looked in, but they didn't seem very welcoming.
Oh. They're really sweet. They would have welcomed you.
I guess I just wasn't sure. In the past, I've experienced some hostility in the area, but not so much now.
I wouldn't think so.
Well, when I first moved to Fort Greene, it would mostly happen when I was with my boyfriend. We would be walking down the street, and women would suck their teeth in at me and say, bitch, as I walked by.
Was your boyfriend black?
Well, I've had 2 African boyfriends since I've moved here, but it would mostly happen when I was with Femi. But I don't think that was necessarily about race. He was just this beautiful man. His skin is smooth, his cheekbones are like porcelain. I guess I would have been jealous too if he wasn't with me.
Are you still seeing him?
No, that didn't end well.
Never does for us.
Are you divorced?
Separated. The divorce should go through soon.
Well, this is one great transitional place. You have the park, you have the farmer's market across the street on Saturday. I live off Fulton, over on one of the only blocks with no trees.
Yeah, it's nice, but I'm just renting. I'm gonna have to find a place to buy once it's all settled.
Could I ask you something?
Sure.
What's your background?
My background? I'm a Puerto Rican girl from the projects.
I'm sorry if that was inappropriate.
No. Our backgrounds say a lot about us, but not everything.
I completely agree. I try not to judge anybody based on how they treat me and who they are.
I gotta say, my ex could categorize people in his business, but he was pretty open-minded about me. He never criticized me for my background. He took me as I was.
Well, it sounds like you guys are still friends.
You could say that. Obviously, it's been hard. He's still works in the record industry. It used to be fun.
Well, that's not going too well, is it? Like, the internet killed it, right?
You could definitely say that. At one point, the problems he was having at work became the problems we were having at home. And you want that to be separate, but sometimes it's hard to keep those walls up.
Do you have kids?
No.
Oh, well, maybe it'll all, work out.
At this point, I don't really know what that means. Left unsaid, all my dreams, all my hopes, all I want, all you promised. All you promised without words, left unsaid. My heart's needs, my mind's calculations, my soul's desires, left unsaid. You left, I left, we left it, spoken but unsaid.